Yo, people, what we saying? What we spraying? Back again with another stream. And today is the first episode of a weekly show me and Wolfie from Forest Fan TV will be doing about none other than Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. Yes, we are blood brothers. It's a phrase that I coined last season and thought, you know what? Let's make it official and start going back and forth throughout the season. Hopefully Arsenal have a great one, and I'm pretty sure that Wolfie hopes Nottingham Forest has a great one. But let's get into it. Big up all the people locked inside. Anyone else that comes in, just make sure you're doing all of the admin stuff, liking, subscribing, sharing with your people, all of that good stuff. Let's get as much traction as possible. Obviously, I think I'm like 60 something away from 7K subscribers, and I am on the way to 10K. Obviously, Wolfie, he is Obviously, Wolfie is on his own journey with Forest Fan TV, so make sure you are subscribing to them as well. The link is in the title. So, before we actually go anywhere, talk about anything, how are you feeling, Wolfie? How are you today?
All right, bro. I'm all right. I'm tired of this transfer window.
Why? You've been fairly active in the transfer window, no?
I don't know what it is about this transfer window, bro. Maybe because me and you have been on so many panel shows. You know, if I have to talk about Isak one more time, I may jump off my freaking bedroom roof, man. It's just been a long transfer. I'm ready for the football. Yeah. And I don't want to watch another friendly for as long as I live either, man.
Yeah.
I need to remember what seeing a goal feels like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hoping we can get a goal on Sunday, but who knows with Forest. But
do you know what? Yeah, that's actually a really good place to start. So Nottingham Forest preseason, yeah. What has actually gone on? Because from what I remember, we spoke and you told me that this season Nuno's going to be, well, at least trying to play a more possession-based type of football. Do you think that, well, okay, I mean, and it's probably a really easy question to answer. How do you feel about your preseason? Because obviously, to me, results don't really matter in preseason. Yeah. But when you've only scored one goal, it is a bit crazy. Now, how do you feel about your preseason? And can you see, I guess, tactically and on the pitch what Nuno's trying to implement? And how do you feel about that?
I'll answer the second one first. The answer is no. If I hadn't seen reports to say that Nuno was trying to change to possession-based football to be a bit more on the front foot, I couldn't have told you that was the case from what I'm seeing with my eyes on the pitch. Yeah, I mean, so it's like, in theory, I get it, but am I seeing it yet? No. Do I think we need to? I don't know. I think it's dangerous, if I'm being honest with you. If it worked last season, if it's worked for his career, why has he suddenly decided this summer he's going to change? I think it's quite reactionary to the back end of last season, where Forest were like coming up against teams. He said, all right, you don't like the ball, Forest. Here you go, have the ball. We're not coming out on the front foot on you. Let's see what you can do. And we got the same problem Arsenal do, but to a worse degree. We can't break down a low block, bro. So I remember playing likes of Brentford, I think it was, at the City ground. They're just hoofing the ball, trying to get it to Stells. He would hoof it back. It was a horrible watch. So I think that's played a part into why the philosophy has to change. Now, do I personally want to see a change in philosophy? Yes, because I'm a football fan, man. I'm a Forest fan. I want to be entertained as well. Do I care if we're getting the results? No. But at the same time, man, the whole point we love football is for drama, for the excitement, for, the attacking football. So, but what I was about 2 weeks ago, I was pissed with what was going on at Forest. We're now starting to make moves now that Crystal Palace have been put, in their rightful position. Forest starting to make the moves. Bakwa, he comes to Forest. I'm excited. Douglas Luiz still potentially on. McAtee's joining. Dan's put together a decent squad, and most importantly, all the man them were telling me on the panel shows, Forest are going to get ripped apart in the summer, or Forest signed everyone up to a new contract apart from Elanga. So the squad's still there, man. So there's reasons to be positive and there's reasons to be apprehensive. We just don't know till the whistle goes on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't know what preseason means. I've seen preseasons where Forest done quite well and then been shit in the season, and vice versa. So we are where we are, bro. You know it. We had to analyze the Arsenal game the other week, which is a friendly against Spurs or whoever it was that you're playing, and you're right in what you're saying. What does it matter? The only important thing from preseason, it's not the minutes and legs for me. It's the patterns of play, the chemistry. That's what I want to see. I don't care if Forest lose 5-4 or win 2-1 or 0-0, wherever it is. As long as what I'm seeing, I can see identity from, but I haven't seen that. So that is the worry.
And so I think it's difficult for any team to go from being used to playing one way to then go into playing what you would argue the complete opposite, because essentially it is the complete opposite way. Like you're used to, okay, let other teams have the ball, we soak up the pressure, and then on the counter attack we go and we get them. Obviously you've also, which is something that I guess we can go into next, you've got a new striker who I would say is, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, probably Nottingham Forest's like marquee signing, I guess you could say, marquee signing for the season. I mean, as marquee as signing someone from Botafogo could be, but the team don't matter. It's more about the player, and that's Igor Jesus. And I personally think, you know, because obviously we've spoken about it, and I've told you about it, because it's like, yeah, Botafogo and all, and Edu, and yeah, he loves his Brazilians, but I do think that Igor Jesus will turn out to be a much better player for you than Chris Wood and Awoniyi. I think it's a sign of better days. Personally, I think it's a sign of Forest trying to transform into a team that's like arguably challenging up the upper end of the Premier League. I know there's people that are like, oh, Chris Wood, he scores loads of goals, but I don't think Chris Wood is a name that's like you can really take with any seriousness moving forward. You know what I mean? All respect to him, because you know he does what he does. But Igor Jesus, obviously you've scored one goal in preseason, so it's kind of hard to say how.
How's Chris Wood, you know?
It's hard to judge him maybe on his ability to put the ball in the back of the net, but the same could be argued for everyone in your team. But how are you feeling about Igor Jesus so far? Obviously, you did the interview with him as well, which is massive kudos to you for being able to do that. But yeah, how are you feeling about Igor Jesus going into this season?
I don't think he's our marquee signing, but I think he is a good signing. But with any signing, I don't care who they are, bro. If you sign a new player, there's always an element of risk involved. Even if you bring in someone from the Premier League, it's like, how's he going to gel with the team? Does he fit in those tactics and what have you? So I don't think it's there's always an element of risk. But a lot of the Forest fans, I mean, I've been scouting him since about January, maybe a little before that, because Forest were linked with him in Jan. And I've been speaking to some of my Brazilian mates who watch more of him than I do, and they were just like, this is the best player we've had, especially the Botafogo fans are like, this is the best player ever, like generational player, blah, blah, blah. And then obviously he started to make his name in the Club World Cup when he scored against PSG, when Botafogo beat them. He got another goal, I think, first game against Seattle Sounders, and he was coming in with a bit of hype. He's got the celebration, the Kamehameha, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of like good hype around him. And I think he will do well. Does he instantly replace Chris Wood? For me, it was a yes, because Chris Wood's going to be 34 this year. But again, my worry about it is that Nuno's trying to put both of them on the pitch. That's what we're seeing in preseason.
Okay.
He's almost going to like a 4-4-2, a diamondy, a 4-2-2. He's tried all these styles out, right? It's like, I don't want two up front, either or. But if it means dropping Igor Jesus because he prefers Wood, I would rather that. Or if he does it the other way around, I don't mind. two striker things means you're taking a body away from midfield. I think we need more warm bodies in that midfield, and that's my worry for it. I think the one that I'm liking a lot is Dan Doy. Dan Doy, the one we got from Bologna, the winger. He's looking good. He's looking sharp. But what I need is a goal scoring midfielder, because as good as Elliot Anderson is, good as some people think Gibbs White is, Sangare, Dominguez, Yates, our midfield, we don't have goals from that central area of midfield, bro. Like, there's not much coming out of that. And that's why I want Douglas Luiz. If we get Douglas Luiz, I think that's the marquee signing. But the window's still not done. I think Forest leaving this late. Reports are out because they were waiting for the whole Palace cheating thing to get sorted out. And now it's said that Marinakis has opened up the checkbook. We've just put a bid in. Backwell from Strasbourg. I really like him. But I want Forest to make a statement. The one I really want. Not linked. Not linked. He was linked about 6 weeks ago, but I feel it was paper talk. But bro, it's like
your mic cut out.
Anyone. Huh?
Your mic cut out as you were saying the name, so we none of us know the name.
Oh, Akliouche from Monaco.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's a baller.
Bro, he gets into most teams in the Premier League.
Yeah, no, he's a baller. He's
baller. Like, there was loose links about, I think it was about 6 weeks ago, maybe 7 weeks ago, and then it's gone dead, and I'm like, just get him. I've been messaging everyone at Forest. I just do it, please. I'm begging you, trust me on it. But yeah, man, it's like I think we know a lot more by the time we do this episode next week.
Yeah.
On how things are. We got a bit of data to work with. You know what I'm saying? We can see, is Nuno going to play 2 up front, or is he going to go to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3? Yeah, bro. It's let's start the football.
Again, you're not going to be too happy about this one.
Oh, come on, man! Like, that's just pure trolling, man. Timing is horrific.
That's funny. Literally, as you said it. That's crazy. I didn't know about Magnus Akliouche until it was some point last season. Someone jumped in my chat and said, "Yo, Hawks, you need to check out this Akliouche brother. He's a baller." And I checked him out, and I was like, I know Arsenal are never going to sign him. That is so funny. Literally just as you said it. So look.
You know what it is? We played Monaco pre-season, yeah?
Yeah.
And I was telling all the Forest fans, I'm not here to watch Forest today. I'm here to watch my boy Akliouche, man. He absolutely cooked us, man. Like that, and that convinced some of the Forest fans that, oh, you do have a clue what you're talking about. I'm just seeing it's petty goal, isn't it? Fuck's sake, man.
I mean, Play goal, he's like, when it comes to like Bundesliga, I'm like, yeah. But when it comes to other leagues, I'm not so sure how legit he is or how correct he is. But yeah, it'll be a shame. So just final thing on Igor Jesus, and this is why I think that, you know, maybe the one striker thing is probably good, like you were saying. And I know you were saying you need more goals from midfield, but I would argue you probably need more creative people in the midfield. I would focus more on creativity in your midfield than goals, and that is because
a ball carrier, man.
Yeah, because he has explosive pace. Like, he's quick. So as long as you have people with that mind and can see the game you know how certain players can just see the game differently and they notice runs, and he's going to be finding a lot of space behind defenses. He's going to be running at a lot of defenses, and if you can just ensure that you're creating as many chances as possible for him, I think he's going to have a good goal scoring season. In my personal opinion. Like, I have a bias towards Brazilian footballers, in it, because obviously when I grew up watching football, all the best footballers were Brazilian. So I still believe
that. And there still is that little attraction. Just the word Brazil, you think, all right, these guys are going to be techie, these guys are going to be ballers and what have you. Quite different to the mold of what we, because I agree with you, that mold that we have of what Brazilian players are like. So yeah, I think it's good. And he spoke really well when I interviewed him. I liked what he said. I liked his kind of professionalism and his attitude. But yeah, he's got to go out and prove it on the pitch, man. Got to go and prove it on the pitch. Why are you lot not going for Akliouche then, man?
Hey, Arteta. I don't know. Like, it's literally, I'll just leave it at Arteta, and then we'll just keep it moving. Like, there's loads of ballers that if Wenger was here, we'd have, but Wenger's not here. So,
but Arteta's better.
And swiftly moving on. So let's talk a bit about the why we're all here. The first game of the season for both Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. Obviously, Arsenal, we go to Old Trafford, and luckily your first game is a home game of the season, but it is against Brentford, which is odd. Let me just touch, because I don't know, maybe you might think I'm going mad, but I actually have Brentford as it stands right now. I have Brentford as one of the teams getting relegated.
Same.
I don't think that they're going to be nowhere near as good as what they was under Thomas Frank. I think Thomas Frank was a massive part of why Brentford was as good as they was. It seems like they're just getting ripped apart for all of their players. And I mean, Kelleher's probably looking at the scenario that's unfolded and thinking, wow, why did I come here? Like, he's probably already having those kind of thoughts. So obviously at home, you would always favor yourself at home, right? And you always want to start off the season well. How are you feeling going into this game? Because it's tricky, right? Because I'm pretty sure, given everything I've just said, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's a sure win. But based on your preseason, you have a goal scoring problem. So it's like, could this just be one of those boring 0-0s?
Yeah, it could be. Okay. In an angry rant the other day, I said Forest are gonna do an Arsenal and go invincible. The only difference is we're gonna draw every game 0-0. You get me, man? We're gonna get 38 points, go invincible. I will be shameless about it if it does happen, right? But yeah, it could be. It could be. I think, look, our defense is solid, bro. Milenkovic, Murillo, Einar, Nico Williams has been brilliant. Sells has been saving us as well, by the way, in preseason. We should have lost a few more of them. But I'm kind of worried about this Brentford game, because I did my predictions yesterday for 1 to 20 in the Premier League. I put them 20th. I don't like Brentford. I would love them. They're not a proper team. I want them to go down. And I was literally, as I was recording the video and I put them 20th, I kind of was just speaking out loud. I left it in the edit. I was like, shit, we're playing them Sunday, man. This video is still going to be on people's timelines. Yeah, there's going to be seats already. If we lose that game, it's going to be a long week. So I am worried from that perspective. But theoretically, we should be winning it. We're at home. I would have liked the Premier League to start a week later. I think Forest are a week behind where they should be, because McAtee's about to sign. Backwards looking very close. I just think it needed another week, and I'd feel confident. Now, if Forest win this one, Chester's coming back out. Forest going to win the league, all those big man talk and all that stuff. That's going to start happening. But I can't sit here because of the unknown. I just don't know where we are. That's my thing right now. I don't know where we are. I haven't seen enough signs in the preseason. I haven't seen enough signs. Because my thing isn't even the preseason hoods. It's that we've rolled into the preseason in shit form from the back end of last season. And it feels like, have they solved that issue that they were doing? So it is what it is, man. We should win. I put us down for a 1-0 win on that. Am I confident? No. It's Forest.
Will you have McAtee done before will he be done in time to actually be registered for the game?
Yeah, I think the cut-off's 12th, isn't it, on Friday?
12 on Friday.
Yeah. I think he'll be in, but whether or not they chuck him straight in, I don't know. I don't know where he fits in. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think he can play in 3 different positions. I think he plays as a 10, he can play out on the right, and I think he could put him as an 8. I think his best position is a 10 or the right, but that's Morgan Gibbs-White's position. This is what's crazy.
Well, you know me, I think Morgan Gibbs-White should be playing the 8. So,
I agree.
So I think you should. So it's okay. This is where it becomes very tricky for Forest, because now I'm looking. Okay, so now I'm thinking. I think Morgan Gibbs-White should play the 8.
I agree.
But are you going to play a double pivot of Morgan Gibbs-White and Elliot Anderson? That doesn't seem to make sense to me.
He did that 2 games ago in the preseason against Who was it, guys, in there? Was it Fury? I think it was against Fiorentina. And do you know what? It kind of worked.
Yeah, but would
It's
it
too
work in
aggressive.
Prem? Yeah, like it's do you know what it is? There's out of Morgan Gibbs White and Elliot Anderson, it doesn't seem like there's someone to me that can just sit. You know, sometimes you just need someone to in that pivot just
Yeah,
sit.
it needs to be Sangare. Sangare needs to be that holder for us.
So then how do you play McAtee? And well, you can still play McAtee in the 10, but then it's like you're sacrificing balance in your midfield.
Exactly.
But the thing is, and people might think I'm gonna go crazy. And I mean this in the most respectful way possible to McAtee, but I see him like the little version of Cole Palmer at the moment. Like obviously,
it's still
the kind of mode I'm seeing. He can play on the right, he can play in the 10.
Yeah,
he can occupy that kind of role. Now, maybe I don't know, like I don't know all of your signings, but like I know that Alanga's gone, so maybe you can play him on the right.
Yeah.
But then I don't know who your best wingers are or who you think your best wingers are, but I think McAtee should be playing the 10. And because I think McAtee should play the 10, and I would start him in the 10 against Brentford, because I think that's a good game.
Straight in.
Yeah, straight in at home. Yeah. Against a team that we both think is pretty much going down. Like it's time to like stat pad. Because and like you were saying earlier, you need goal scorers in midfield. He can score goals.
Yeah, I think he got like 7 last season, man. That's like the total of our whole freaking midfielders. I hear what you're saying, bro. Go on.
No, I was gonna say, and he barely played for Man City. So
yeah. I like the idea of it. There's also a thought process in the back of my mind where I was literally gonna say this. Is this the long-term replacement for Gibbs White? Because I'll tell you what, bro, I'd drop Gibbs White. That's what I would do.
For McAtee?
Yeah, maybe not for Brentford. Like, let's see when he gets through the door, give him a week or what have you. But I'm not against dropping Gibbs White. Now, is that going to happen? No chance in hell. They've just made him the highest paid player. They're making him the captain. You know what I'm saying? There's all the thing we had with Spurs on it. I think it's a more long-term Gibbs White is going in the summer, maybe even Jan, maybe even this window. Really? If someone were to come in for him, I'm not gonna. I don't care. I don't care if he goes. I'm not that fussed on him because he is misprofiled. He's not a 10. He's an 8. I fully 100% agree with you. He looks so much better. He was the best player on the pitch against Fiorentina because he was playing in the 8, which is where he needs to be. So I don't know. The other thing I would say is that there was too much reliance on Gibbs White playing last season. So Gibbs White was doing too many games. Maybe now with Europa and everything, Nuno, Marinakis, Edu have looked at it and thought, right, we can't use Gibbs White every single game. Yeah. We need a 10 to replace him. We need 10 to rotate with him, and we don't want that drop in the level. And I think this is where Forest fans still not used to it. You guys will be more used to it. A deep squad, but not a squad that has gaps in terms of quality level. Do you get me? So with Arsenal, if you're dropping Zubimendi and bringing Norgard in, the level drops, but it's not like that. And I think Norgard's been quite good in the preseason, as we've discussed. And I think that's what Forest needs to try and do now, is that, and the fan base, is understand that just because you brought a player in who's probably here compared to the one you've got, it doesn't mean that this player's getting sold or this being a replacement. There has to be a squad element with the European games and everything. So it'll be interesting to see how Nuno does this. Nuno doesn't do big squads, and Forest are looking to bulk out their squad. So it'll be interesting to see how he can even cope with a big squad. But yeah, it's Jets, good to see you, bro. Shooting off his misses is on his case. But you know what I mean? So there's still a lot of unknowns. That's why I'm not sitting here comfortably. We don't even have a good track record against Brentford at home in the Premier League. I'm trying to think, have we beaten them since we've been back up? I think we've drawn or lost to them at home, and we've beaten them away, if I remember rightly. But yeah, I like the signing of McAtee, though. But I said when I was doing a stream last night, I don't know where he fits in. And it may be one of those utility players who in game weeks, let's just say he's ready for game week 1. Maybe Nuno starts him on the right and he rests Callum Hudson-Odoi and puts Dan Doy on the left-hand side. Game week 2, he's going to rest Anderson. He puts McAtee in Gibbs White in the 8, and you know what I'm saying? So there might be that flow. Now, do I want that too much inconsistency in the starting 11? I don't know, but will I understand it because of European stuff and everything? Maybe so. I don't know, bro. It's going to be interesting. I'm worried about Brentford, but I'm always worried. I'm always negative until about an hour before the game. Then I start thinking, hey, you know what? We should win this, yeah. And the whistle kicks off 5 minutes in, you're all hyped up. Then you're like, oh, we're still playing this shit football. Fuck. That's like the thought process. But you, man, have got a big game. Yeah, man, have got a big game.
We do. Just before we go into that, do you think that, and I don't like to do this with football, but do you think that this is a must-win game
for Forest?
Yeah.
I do, in terms of the fact that we need to start quickly, because outside of the game that we've got with you in game week 4, I think the rest of our games are quite easy. Brentford, West Ham. I think we got Leeds. Who's the other one? I think it's either Burnley or Sunderland. I can't remember which one. You look at those games on paper, Forest should be taking a good amount of points on. You think if there's going to be a loss, it would be the Arsenal one, but the rest of them, you don't want to be losing. You want to be more likely winning, because after those 5 games, then we've got Newcastle, and Chelsea, and a couple of other tough games. Now, the disaster for me is if we start slow, get through these first 5 games with not great results, and then we go into this tricky patch. You're now looking at 6, 7, 8 games. Things start to heat up. Pressure starts to build. So, yeah, I think it's a must-win game, but not in the sense of it's do or die. Do you get me? It's like in terms of planning out what you want to see for the next few games. It is in that sense, but not in the sense of we must win or we're gonna miss out on Champions League like we did at Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Yeah, that's where I am with it.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, yeah. So basically, you must win, but if you don't win, it won't have any real impact onto your season. All right, cool.
But it could. If that rolls into the next couple of games, then it could, yeah.
So, yeah. So basically, just start positively, which is what I want to do, you know? Obviously, now talking a bit about the Arsenal game. So
I want to talk about this game, bro. I want to talk about this game.
We got Manchester United at Old Trafford. Yeah. Now, I think, personally, we're going to absolutely batter them. Personally,
Inshallah.
I think we're going to absolutely batter. Like, I'm going into this game with so much confidence because I feel like, even though you could argue that Arsenal didn't have the greatest of pre-seasons, I feel like in our final pre-season game, we actually shut up a lot of the kind of concerns and trolls that people had about Arsenal's pre-season in terms of how we was playing. And I feel like what we saw in the game against Athletic Bilbao is most likely how you're going to see us play in the Premier League. And I feel like it was more free-flowing. I feel like it was more direct. I feel we was a lot quicker. I feel like we was creating in a variety of ways. I felt like we wasn't doing that thing where we was relying on set pieces. I feel like it was, and again, I understand it's a pre-season, but things like scoring 3 goals, keeping a clean sheet, your marquee signing, you know, getting his first goal for, even though I don't think it counts as an official goal because pre-season, but getting his first goal at the home ground, you know, the fans being able to take part in the celebration. Like, I feel like all of these things matter. I feel like all of these things matter. Now, I know that going to Old Trafford is never easy. Even in like their
good times,
yeah, even in their season last year where they got battered from pillar to post, like it was still not easy to go to Old Trafford because Old Trafford is just one of those grounds. Like the fans create a mad environment. It's tricky. Like They still have that kind of Manchester United pride where we can't get destroyed at our ground. Like, and Amorim, to me, he's a defensive manager, man. Like he sets up in a real dirty way, and I feel like he's gonna soak
Do you rate
up.
him? Do you rate him?
I like him. I like him I think he's a good coach.
That's not what I asked you.
I just don't know if Manchester United was the right place for him. I think maybe a Chelsea would have been better. A Liverpool would have been better. Even like a new car. Basically, just not Manchester United, because Manchester United have arguably the most entitled fans in world football. Like, no matter what's happening to them, their fans always think and demand we must win everything. Like we should be winning. And why are we not winning all the trophies? So, and I feel like that's a very hard environment to go into when you're trying to build. They're basically trying to build a new brand of Manchester United. Like, things are changing up, and the fans are really, really difficult to get on your side. And if he has anything similar to a season of what he had last year, he's going to be out the door. So, look, last season Arsenal played them 3 times. Obviously, we beat them. I think we beat them at home, and then at Old Trafford, I think we drew in the league.
Drew with them. Yeah,
I think we drew with them in the league, and obviously they knocked us out of the FA Cup on penalties, which was like. But then in that game, we could have won it. Like, we had chances.
Odegaard had that penalty, didn't he?
Yeah, he missed the penalty, and it's like we had, but that won't be a problem this year because Gyökeres is on penalties. So it's like, and this is the thing, Amorim, please play the same way you played against us last season in every game this season, because I don't have to worry about low blocks this season because I've got a striker that will just put the ball in the back of the net. And then as soon as he does that, you have to say goodbye to your low block. See, because that's the thing. And this is the thing with Arsenal and struggling against low blocks. Yeah. If we just in every game, imagine if we had I don't need to imagine anymore, but imagine, last season we had a striker that he has a chance at 5 minutes in the game and he puts it in the back of the net. You can't play low block now. You can play it to a certain degree, but you can't rely on it because you now need a goal, which makes the game more open. And this is what Victor Gyökeres will help us with. I know a lot of people don't rate Noni Madueke, but I think Madueke is going to give us something a lot different to Martinelli on the.
I don't think it's about not rating him, bro. I think it's about the statement. You get me? Like, when you lot were talking about Rodrigo, Leao, these kind of players, and then you end up with Madueke. It's just well, I agree with you. He's not a bad player, but it's about the statement of intent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That I don't think he's done anything to get you closer to Liverpool. Is the point I would make.
But I don't think.
But
I don't think
he's going to win the league.
But I don't think that's why we signed him. And I feel like this is where like football conversations on YouTube are very 1 or a million. Like, there's nothing in the middle. Like, I don't think that Noni Madueke was signed to be like our star player. Like, sometimes, like we spoke about earlier, you need squad depth. You need depth in your squad. And he's probably going to play on the left wing quite a bit if we don't go and sign like I don't know, for just foreign names out there, Leao or whatever. But I still firmly believe one of the main reasons why we went for Noni Madueke is because he can play on the left, but he's also good enough to be a backup to Saka on the right. So now, see, this is the thing I feel like, and I felt this a very long time with Bukayo Saka, I feel like he's become way too comfortable because he knows no matter what, come rain, shine, whatever it is, I'm starting if I am fit.
Mm.
Do you know what? Not even fit. I'm starting if I'm like 60% fit.
If I'm available.
Yeah. If I say to Mikel Arteta, yeah, I can play in this game, then I'm playing in this game. Yeah. So when you have that sort of comfortability, you get a bit complacent. But now, because it doesn't matter how we view Madueke, everyone inside of that Arsenal camp view Madueke completely different to how fans do. So Saka's looking at Madueke like, oh, if I'm not on my game, he'll take my spot, because that's the mentality that Madueke has. So now you should see Saka's game rise. So that's how I feel like Madueke is gonna blend.
Get the logic, but I would understand that if I'd seen you buy a left winger who was going to be your starter. That's my thinking. Now the window's not done, right? You cannot let Spurs get Eze. What are you lot doing? I saw your video yesterday. You're all calm and chilled, bro.
Yeah, I'm cool.
I do agree. I think it's a smoke screen. I think the agent is trying to say, basically, he's showing Arsenal some cleavage, isn't he? He's saying, "Come get me."
Do you know what I think it is? Yeah, because since all of that chaos, yeah, and I had to deal with George chatting rubbish, yeah, and I'm gonna clip him up from that stream. It's gonna drop today. Yeah, we're chatting rubbish, yeah. Everyone has come out and said Eze still favors Arsenal. Obviously paraphrasing, but that's kind of the communication.
Yeah.
Now
and he's an Arsenal fan, isn't he?
Yeah, and he came from the Arsenal
Academy.
Academy.
He came from the academy, yeah.
So it's like, obviously, big up Fabrizio Romano in it, yeah, because I even though I feel like he's become more of an influencer recently to what I remember of him a few years ago, he still works harder than anyone. Like, his work rate is absolutely crazy, insane. Yeah. But when he's tweeting about the same thing and making minor adjustments within 3 hours, there's something fishy there. Yeah, there's definitely something fishy there. Now, what I think is happening, and I could be way off, yeah, but I feel like Eze's agent understands the situation with Arsenal. And the situation with Arsenal is, we want Eze, but we want to get rid of players, and we're waiting for Palace to replace Eze. So his agent is probably thinking there could be a scenario where neither of those two things happen. And then Eze is now left at Crystal Palace. But Eze wants to play in the Champions League. I can't deny that. Eze wants to play in the Champions League. Like, I know this. So, let's drum up some stories about Tottenham. Not saying the Tottenham interest isn't real, but let's drum it up a bit to see if it kind of makes Arsenal go, you know what?
Has Ornstein said anything on it?
Nope. And this is the thing. This is the thing. Like, because look, I don't know about everybody else, but I only really listen when Ornstein says something, because Ornstein is rarely wrong about anything. Ornstein is the Arsenal mouthpiece. So when Ornstein says something about Arsenal, you know that, oh, I have to listen.
Who does he support? Does anyone know?
Ornstein, I haven't got a clue. I ain't got a clue.
However, Romano is now my favorite one. He's just said Man City downplay reports on Akliouche or similar options. No talks are taking place. If Savinho joins Spurs, City want Rodrigo. There's still no agreements for Savinho to Spurs as of now. First bid far from City's valuation. So my dream is still alive.
Yeah. and look, the Savinho deal, that's giving Arsenal some time to do what they need to do to go grab Eze, because Spurs are working on. So look, I wanted Eze in before the first game of the season. And I think if Eze was at Arsenal before the first game of the season, then it goes from me being 99% sure that we punch up Manchester United to 100 million% sure that we.
I want to see Eze. I want to see him at Forest, obviously, but at Arsenal. But I just want you to play him in the right place. That's my thing with him. I mean, you haven't even got him yet. I get it, but let's assume you can get him. You can't let Spurs get Eze, bro. Like, you can't. That's like a no-go, right? But I want to see him where Odegaard is. He will absolutely cook for you there, man. Like he's the You know what's been missing in your pre-seasons, and I've had to watch a few of them. So obviously, my boy's an Arsenal fan, and when you watch it, it's the middle, the creativity coming out of that. When you watch Eze, even in Palace's pre-seasons, and I've seen a couple of them. Is he an Arsenal fan? Interesting. And yes, Palace are playing with a deeper line and what have you. I get that. But Eze's, you know a baller when you see a baller. Eze's ability to pick the ball up and dribble through the defense, find a nice pass. And the other thing is he shoots, man, and he scores from those shots. This guy, for me, is one of the most complete midfielders in the Premier League. Like, I think he wasn't as good as Elise, by the way. I think Elise was better. But Eze has just matured. He didn't even play that well in the first half of last season for Palace. It's the second half where he really kicked on. But a midfielder that can pass, that can dribble, that's strong, that can shoot, that can take free kicks. There's not much missing from this guy's game. I would give my left testicle to have him at Forest. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that Arsenal are pissing around to get him when he literally wants to join you, I would be absolutely rioting if I'm an Arsenal fan. And one, you don't get him. And secondly, even allowing Spurs to have the audacity to think that they can get him. That's how highly I rate this player.
Spurs to me is like
that log that don't flush at the first time. You get me? That's Spurs.
No, but they're like my little bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, you got a little bro, and it's like, you know, you go and get your nice new jacket. Your little bro never wanted a nice new jacket, but then he sees, you know, you got the nice new jacket, and now he's going to mom, I want one. And then, you know, gets a nice new jacket and then never wears it. That's how I see Tottenham. Like, so, like, to me,
that is literally, for me, that is my younger brother's a Spurs fan, isn't it? That's literally for me. Like, but I go a step further. Spurs get the hand-me-downs, man. I used to get my old socks and shit. You get me?
Yeah, man. Like, I really, do you know what it is, yeah, for me? This is what it is for me, yeah. I really want Eze at Arsenal. But if he does end up at Tottenham, I would be so surprised. And I can only say, well, okay, Eze. Okay. That's all I can say.
I'd be disappointed in Eze if he lowered his standards to go to.
So would I. So would I. But I can't deny that he has a massive desire to play in the Champions League. So, and he's 27, like he's not getting towards the latter part of his career, but he's officially he's in his prime. So
he's in his prime, yeah.
Now would be the best time for him to be swinging with the big boys across Europe. But just on the what do you actually think about the Arsenal Manchester United game? Like, how do you think it's gonna go?
I'm hoping you win. You know, like this is what cracks me up, right? People think I hate Arsenal. I don't. I don't. Arsenal, when Forest were in the Championship, was the team I was backing early on to win the title, so that Man U weren't winning it. And then when you start to fall off a bit, I'd back whoever was against Man U, a Chelsea, a Man City, or what have you. But Arsenal, for me, like, and that's why I let my son support Arsenal. He didn't want to support Forest, and I wasn't going to force him. And it was a case of, okay, you can pick a team that isn't Manchester United, Derby, or Spurs. Like, take your pick, fine. So he went down the Arsenal way, right? So I've got a soft spot for Arsenal, if anything. But as a footballer watching Arsenal, as a football fan watching Arsenal, I'm frustrated to see what you should be versus what you're doing on the pitch. Now, in terms of how this thing goes on Sunday, you should beat them. You should comfortably beat them. All Man U fans are glazing their pre-season. But I always see Man U having decent pre-seasons and then shit in the bed when it comes to the league, right? So I think Man U, they were playing Bournemouth, West Ham, and Everton in the summer series. There's not much Man U fans can take away from that, but they're like, oh, another trophy. It's like, you're shameless. There's something about Man U though. They always find something to annoy you with. They'll find a late-minute goal, a VAR penalty, just something. And that's my worry about Sunday. If you're looking at a fair fight, yeah, and Arsenal, and loves Arsenal, man. He proper loves Arsenal, man. He gets annoyed if I say anything negative about Arsenal on our streams, right? But it's the whole blood brother thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah. If you want a blood brother, you want proper freaking cut deep. Bring Anna. But I think you win this as long as the ref doesn't get involved, or there isn't a stupid red card, or you don't have a bozo moment. On balance of probability and play, you should win this, right? Just got this worried feeling. I'll put you down to win 2-1. Like, I just worry, is Arteta going to do something stupid? Like, not start Gyökeres for Kai Havertz? You know what I'm saying?
That
Something
is
stupid like that. Because it's not beyond his stupidity to do that.
that's a valid concern. I have that same concern. But the only thing I will...
Someone at the door, sir.
That's fine. The only thing that I will say is that Mikel Arteta has spoken very highly of Victor Gyökeres since he's joined Arsenal. You know, he even referred to him like, yeah, if he's got you 1v1, he's going to destroy you. So if you understand and you have said yourself that this guy will destroy you in a 1v1 scenario, I can't see how he then doesn't start him against Manchester United at Old Trafford, especially considering he scored in the final preseason game. So in his second start, no, first start, was it? First start, no, second. One of the two. He hasn't been here too long. He's already scored, and he scored with a header. Do you know, it may sound stupid, but do you know how important it is to get Arteta on your side, that you can score with headers? Yeah, especially after everyone denied that he could. Yeah. But you know what? While Wolfie's away, let's have a quick, oh, he came back. I'll still do the quick advert though. By the way, people, make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing. Forest Fan TV is in the title. Also, as well, you can become a member to the channel, support my growth. We're gonna do big things, big goals this season. You can also grab me a coffee. I'm going Birmingham on the weekend, so I'm gonna need a lot of coffee for the drive, help a brother out, you know what I'm saying? But also, you think you're a bad boy, you think you know football, you think you're a cold manager, come and join the Halftime Hawks Super League on FPL. There will be cash prizes. The pot will build up across the season. I'll do goals while I'm streaming, and whatever money is put through, I'll find a way to a percentage or whatever goes into the pot, and I'll keep people updated on the sides of the pot as the season goes on. And if you win, I will get you your club's new jersey for next season. If you are a member, I will get whoever you want on the back as well. So,
bro, can you stop putting me to shame, man?
What do you mean?
Like, I've just put the link for my one on my lot. I ain't offered them no prizes and stuff, bro.
Hey, man, just trying to get as many people as I can involved. Hey, but big up Nico Lasty with us.
That's one of my guys. That's the blood brother for you right there, man.
Two favorite footy YouTubers. Hooks gets it. Sorry. So I'm number one. Let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Oh, shit, I need to do my FPL team, you know.
Yeah,
I
you
gotta
do.
put my lot to shame, man.
Yeah, you need to join my league as well, because
you know what you need to do? You do that thing with Jords, where you do your predictions and stuff.
It's changing a bit this season, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, the one you did last season. If you're still doing it, you super brew, man, because you can do like a prediction league in there. I'll send you the link after.
Send me the link. I'll look into it.
Yeah, because I'm doing it with my lot as well. I've been doing it for a couple of years.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, you watch your mouth, Chris. You watch your mouth, Chris.
Wolfie's bargain bucket. That's funny. So, all right, look. So obviously, as we work our way towards a close, I've got a question for you around Nottingham Forest and a question for you around Arsenal. Which one would you rather have first?
Arsenal.
All right, cool. So just doing the YouTube stuff. 49. Let's say 49. 50.
Can I guess the question?
Yeah, you can try and guess the question.
Where do I think Arsenal are going to finish?
Do you know what? That wasn't the question, but that
Wasn't it?
can be baked into it. So I'll transform.
We close with that. Save that one. We'll close with that question.
Okay, we close with that one. So I'll ask the question first. So, all right, why is it, and why do you think it is that Arsenal's title hopes are kind of being disrespected? Like, I feel like we're being ignored as like a possibility for the title already, and a ball hasn't been kicked. And from my opinion, we made one major upgrade. I would argue two, but to be fair, I'll say one major upgrade, which is we didn't have a goal scorer in the 9 last season. We now have a goal scorer in the 9 this season. Why is it we're being disrespected?
Easy. Arteta. Bro, it's as simple as that, bro. It really is. Pound for pound on the pitch, Arsenal, you could argue, have a case to say each of their players in their position, minus your left wing, could be in most teams. I think that's a fair argument to say. Or at the very worst, like top 3 in their positions in the league. When it comes to that fraud in charge, I just don't trust that he can get you over the line. And it reminds me of, like, you know, if I'll give you an analogy. If you're chasing a girl that you really like, yeah, she's that top prize woman. You go in once, you get rejected. You go in again, you get rejected. You go the 3rd time, you're rejected. By the 4th time, you become scared to ask, man. She's going to put a freaking restraining order on you, kind of thing, right? Yeah. This is the thing with Arsenal. You finish second. Same voice in that dressing room. Same ideology. Same comfort zone that's being created. Yeah, the inability to get over the line. I think your squad is good enough to, at the very least, challenge. I just don't think your manager is. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans, even if they're Arteta in or Arteta sexuals, I love that phrase, right? I think even deep down inside, they know it. It's to the stage where I think if you do win it this league, this season, it's in spite of Arteta. It's just because you got yourself a gunman up front and the players are good enough. Now, is that harsh to say on Arteta? Probably. But, bro, he hasn't even brought you a cup in the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? He's got the exact same record now as Glasner has at Crystal Palace. And Glasner's...
Not entirely.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not
so it's... Well, he's got one less... Huh?
He's got one. So Arteta's won 2 community shields.
2 community shields. My bad. But this is the problem. You know, and I've said this to a few guys. I was like, if Arsenal sacked him today, and let's say you went and got Klopp in charge tomorrow, I would think, I would, yeah, I've still got the restraining order. I would think if you got Klopp in tomorrow, I'm not saying Klopp, but just as an example, a proper manager with pedigree who has that fear factor, I look at it and think I would probably make Arsenal's joint favourites to win the league with that one simple change. Put in a prestige, proper, elite manager in there. That changes the complexity of everything. I would even say if you didn't get one of the elites, but you got a manager who was, you know, had a good reputation or something, it's a different voice that's coming to these players, different ideas. People get comfortable.
Yeah.
I used this example on a stream the other day. You know, when you start a new job, first day, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, you do everything on time, you try and get it done early. Couple of weeks go in, you start to get a feel for the place. 6 months in, you start to cut a couple of corners. Yeah, it's the same. A year into it, you're used to the same team. You know who's gonna do what, when they're gonna do it. Everything's comfortable. There's no fresh ideas coming in. You've been in the job 5 years. Everyone's kind of chilled back, laid back. You get the job done, but you're not doing it with that push. Then a new manager comes in, and he gives you some fresh ideas. He tells you, I want this done now. Suddenly you're sat back up. You're keen. You're eager to impress.
Yeah.
It's not even saying Arteta's a shit manager. It's saying that it's got stale. It's got stale. You're going to have that mental fatigue. You're going to have that mental doubt. The players will. Can we get over the line? This is going to be year 4 now. You get me? And that's why I'm not even convinced you finished second. That's how much I think the Arteta impact is, despite how good I think your team is. So that's why I think people disrespect it. Also, like, especially with like the Liverpool, Man City fans, they use him to banter you guys. That's the thing. It's become bantery from Arsenal.
Yeah.
And this isn't a team that should be disrespected based on the history you guys have in the Premier League. How some of the beautiful football you guys used to play. Now, if Arteta goes back to playing football, and I know we've had an argument about this, right? But if he goes back to playing that football of 3 years ago, whenever it was, the big difference for me, and I get your point, he's not there to make me entertained, but he is there to put fear factor into the opposition. If Arsenal are coming into, when you battered us, I was at the game where you battered us 5-0 at your place. I went in, bro. I took my boy there. It was the first time that since he's been alive, basically, that Forest have played Arsenal in a league match. Yeah. And we were both excited. This was a proper father-son moment. 84 minutes into it, he turns to me and goes, "Daddy, if you want to leave, we can go." Yeah, he couldn't even bring himself to banter me because you'd battered us that badly that he felt sorry for me. Yeah. That Arteta, that version of Arteta, I had respect for. Yeah. This Arteta version who's like, I don't want to lose. That's the thing. I don't want to lose. I'm scared to lose. I'd rather draw than lose. Instead of some managers like a Slot who's like, I'd rather lose as long as I'm trying to win. He needs to get that back in to get the fear factor. Yeah, Poison, it was that hurt me more than if he bans me. I'm not gonna lie to you. He didn't say it with any malice, right? He was just like, "Daddy, if you want to leave now, let's go." It's painful, man.
Yeah. Okay. Now fair dues. So now the Nottingham Forest question, which is going to be a very, very interesting to hear your answer. So, will Forest fall off this season, or will they rise above?
We rise.
You rise. Don't
ask. Look, I can break down how Arsenal will rise or fall. Yeah, if you want me to give you how Forest rise or don't rise, I can't, bro. I can't. The only thing I can put on the table is that I don't think many teams below us have improved, as in who finished below us last season.
Yeah.
So if I try to be objective about it, that's my one bullet in my gun. And if we do get some of these players over the line, if McAtee's coming in, if Bakwa's coming in, if we get Douglas Luiz, for me is the key one. If Douglas Luiz comes in, that revolutionizes our midfield. We have a proper midfielder in there. So I think, look, I've put Forest down to finish 6th, which everyone will laugh at, right? But if I was giving you a range, I think it's between 6th and 10th. Because I honestly, bro, when you look at the other teams, you can say that I think Everton will do what Forest did last year, by the way. They're putting together a good squad. I can see them playing in the same style.
Just quickly.
Yeah.
So I currently, as it stands right now, bearing in mind I've seen none of your preseason.
Yeah.
I have you 9th.
But
okay. I basically have Aston Villa 7th. Yeah. Now I feel like you two could easily swap positions. But my hot take for the season is Everton will get Conference League. That's my hot take for the season.
Yeah, I can see it. League. Because I was speaking to my mate Mike, who's an Everton YouTuber. We sat down, we did a stream towards the end of last season, and I said, this was after Forest played Everton. I said to him, I see so much of Forest in Everton minus pace. I was like, if you bring pace into that team, the philosophy of Nuno and David Moyes is very similar, and they can do it. And I rate their defense, man. Like, Jake O'Brien is an absolute quality defender, and they've shoved him at right back, and he's doing a great job there. The defense is good. They just didn't have that pace in the team. And what's his face? Not Ndoye. Njai. What a player he is as well. So I say watch out for Everton. They're my dark horse.
Jack Grealish as well.
Yeah.
Coming in.
And the ex-Leicester one from Chelsea.
Dewsbury Hall.
He's a good player. I'd take him.
Very good.
And they're quietly. Barry's good. Yeah, but good attacker as well. They've quietly put together a nice little team, and I say just watch out for Everton. But yeah, to answer your question, for Forest, I think anywhere from 6th to 10th is my range.
I think that is a great season for Forest, because as much as like obviously when we support our teams, we want our teams to win the biggest things. But I feel like for Nottingham Forest right now, it's really important for them to establish themselves in
Top
that
half
section of the league first. And then
Yep.
once you're established there, then you start thinking about, okay, how do we move on to the next step? Because, you know, football goes in cycles. Like, it could be very easy for you to, it's very easy to become Icarus and fly too close to the sun and end up getting burned. And then you end up like 16th, 17th again. And then you're now, let's get rid of our manager. And then you start changing things too much. And then I doubt it's going to happen, but you could end up back in the championship. And then you're like, shit, man, we should have just focused on being more stable versus trying to be better than what we are, obviously, with all due respect. But I think
if you give me 10 from the Europa League, I'm there.
Yeah, which I think is fair. But look, big up Crypto, FFTV. Chat. Yeah, come on. Good job you didn't see our preseason hopes. Oh, you would say 20.
I can't argue that one.
That's crazy. All right, cool. So to end the show, do you know what? I did it with Cal on my new show with him, so I'll do it with you, yeah? Flash predictions. Top 4. If you want to do it in order, you can. You don't have to, but who's in your top 4? Who's your Europa League? Well, technically, sorry, top 5 because the coefficient. Yeah. Who's in your Europa League? Who's your Conference League shout? And who are your relegated teams?
So I think Man City will win the league. I can't remember. I've got it on my video from yesterday. I think I went Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Villa is my top 5. So, in that order.
So
Man City to win the league.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Villa.
Okay.
Forest 6th, Newcastle 7th. So that would be the European spots. To go down.
Conference League is 8th. Conference League is 8th, no?
Nah, it'll be 7th.
It'll be 7th.
It depends. It depends who wins the FA Cup and that.
So I did it wrong. Okay, cool. Fair dues.
Yeah. One league spot is Europa, one league spot's conference. But if the FA Cup, say if Arsenal win the FA Cup and finish top 5, then it goes into the league. So conference can be 8th.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'm going to run off that because we're going to win the FA Cup. So cool.
There you go. Yeah, sorted you out. Who goes down? I got Brentford, Wolves. I put Bournemouth just because I want them down because I hate them. I don't think they'll go down. You know what it is? Joe convinced me they were going to stay up. And then I did a stream with him yesterday and he's in pieces. I think Leeds could be it. They've just signed DCL, bro. Like, well,
yeah, that's a bit
doing it.
Yeah, that's a bit crazy.
I don't know. I've got a feeling that the promoted sides may stay up. I don't know how. I don't know why. But I've just got because it hasn't happened since Forest came up. And I think, as you said, football goes in cycles. This could be the season where teams go up. Wolves are in serious trouble. Not a lot of people are talking about how much trouble Wolves are in. They've had a worse preseason than Forest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're in trouble. Brentford are hopefully definitely in trouble. And then I don't think Bournemouth will go down. I just want them down. They're just not a Premier League team. I hate them. I think it will be probably maybe 1 or 2 will survive, but they'll be mixing it up with Bournemouth and West Ham. West Ham are not going to do good this season. So that's where I am with everything.
So for me, right now, and this could change, I think this may change after game week 1. Will probably change after game week 5, but will definitely change after game week 10. I've got Arsenal to win the league. I'm going for it. I'm just going for it. Here's what they for it. Then I've got this part is either or. So Chelsea 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, or Liverpool 2nd, Chelsea 3rd. Or I've got Man City 4th. I've got Tottenham 5th. I've got Manchester 5th. I've got Manchester United 6th. I've got Aston Villa 7th. But like I said earlier, that could interchange with Nottingham Forest. I've got Everton 8th, because to me, that's the Conference League spot. I do think one of the top 4 or 5 coefficient will win the FA Cup. And then my relegated teams are Brentford, Burnley, and West Ham.
West Ham.
Yep, I have a
Love to see that. Man, could you imagine Lawless's head loss of that? That'd be.
I've got a bad feeling about West Ham this season. I won't lie, a bad feeling. But yeah, thanks for the time, Wolfie. I've enjoyed this little conversation.
It's a good opening episode, isn't it?
Yeah, man. See, we can have conversations where you're not constantly trolling me or Arsenal. You know, it can.
I don't troll, man. I just give my opinions, man.
Yeah, no, I hear it, man. But look, like we said, weekly show, same time every week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Lock in. Make sure on the way out you're liking the video. Make sure on the way out you're subscribing to the channel. I am on my way to 7K. Would be really nice if I could get there ASAP.
By Sunday.
Yeah, well, hopefully before that. I am gonna obviously and subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you're not already. If you want to get that A1 Forest content, and I won't lie, Wolfie's watch-alongs look the best visually. So if you like good visuals for watch-alongs, he's definitely the space to go to. I am going to be sending you over to Durag Diaries. George, my brother, you know him. He's talking about something Tottenham related. I think it's to do with their new captain, and them man are so. Do you know what? Tell him and tell him that his team's shameless, because why are they doing all Marvel Avengers video bare like the sound? It was too much for announcing that Romero will be the captain. So go over there, Hawks Raid, tell him his team's shameless, like the video, and we'll catch you next time.